So I guess we finally were given the Borderlands trailer for the new live action adaptation based off of the critically acclaimed trilogy, or really the first two Borderlands video games. And I gotta say, I was very skeptical when I first heard about this. I was like, I don't know if this is a movie that could be live action, but at the same time, it would be awesome because it's all action. It's all just guns and explosions. They can't really do it. They can't really make it that bad, I would assume, right? Worst case scenario, it looks like a bad cosplay. And it's going to be directed by Eli Roth. And Eli Roth is a fantastic horror, thriller director. So why not? And now that when we first got the stills for it, I was like, all right, I'm not quite digging it. I mean, I like Kate Blanchett and, Kevin Hart's cool and all, but I feel like they're just respectively not Lilith and Roland. I'm sorry. Like, Lilith should definitely be a little younger, a lot more slimmer. Just make her some young, crazy, hot actress or model, and Roland should definitely be bulkier and, harder and definitely more somber than the joyousness that Kevin Hart brings. I mean, again, they might as well have casted who I'm guessing is Krieg, one of the bonus characters from Borderlands 2. I'm assuming that's who he is, because other than that, all the psychos are actually villains, so I don't see how they would team up with one. But if that's who that's supposed to be, Krieg, then I think The Rock should have played him, because then The Rock and Kevin Hart would continue their dynamic duo with Jack Black being Claptrap, which is honestly the only part of all of this that looks good. But again, it's just the voice of Jack Black voicing Claptrap. It's pretty on point. There's no, I mean, you could have had anybody with a recorder on and it probably would have sounded fine, as long as you have enough pizzazz and you just say enough funny lines from the game. And I think Jack Black will have that down. But again, otherwise, this trailer was kind of a letdown. It almost looks like they're trying to be like Guardians of the Galaxy, and considering the array of characters that Borderlands has, they didn't even use Mordecai or Axton, or Brick even. Brick would have been dope. I'm very curious to see what characters they actually do put in there, because some of the characters I don't think they would actually want to put in for obvious political reasons. But half of the characters that they could have used, they did not use. And that's kind of like, they didn't even use Zero. My boy Zero was so sick from the second one, but Mordecai was still better because he had a fucking eagle, right? But I'm just so shocked that it just doesn't look as good as it could. It's like, come on, man. Like, you guys could have done so much better. And again, I know this is just the first trailer, and I know people are going to be like, oh, you're just hating. But it's, I was a really big fan of the Borderlands games. And the fact that they are all, first-person shooters, that's all it is, right? You're just shooting things. So you could have put not that you could have put anybody, but you really should have focused better on the character designs instead of putting these older actors and these comedic actors in these roles. Like, they could have made it way more serious and way more like the video games. I mean, come on, the first Borderlands was fantastic, right? The intro, everything was just so solid. I mean, the second one was good too, but the first one was just out of this world. Plus, it was when I first discovered, and when many others first discovered, Cage the Elephant. Come on. I mean, it was just phenomenal. And the fact that they could have at least used a Cage the Elephant song in the trailer, that would have been awesome. But no, they had to use whatever else they used. But again, it just made it feel like they were trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy, and it just was like, nah, this isn't Guardians of the Galaxy. This is definitely based off of a video game that I feel like none of these people played. And if they did play them, I definitely feel like I said, this is just a really kind of not that good cosplay meetup in the desert, and they all decided to put this movie together. But I don't know, I'm not going to hold my breath. I might watch it for sure, because, again, I was such a big fan of the video games. The third one, I barely remember, and the characters from the third one were pretty crap. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they just had one of the third movie characters come in, the black Lilith, and it was super random, right? But and hopefully they even have Handsome Jack. I don't think Handsome Jack is going to be in this movie. I mean, maybe, but the guy that seems like the villain doesn't look anything like him. Wears his cool chin medal strap, come on now. And then again, I think Mad Moxie was seen in the trailer, but other than that, I hope they have Crazy Earl, or obviously they better fucking have Ned, the doctor. I mean, there's a lot of characters in this game that are just fantastic, and I really, really, really hope that they do at least those characters justice. Also, you know, you had characters like Marcus, who was the one that introduced you to the whole story of the Vault Hunters in the first game. I mean, if they don't put him in it, that's completely messed up. Straight disrespect in the lore of the game. Because Tannis as Jamie Lee Curtis, I mean, come on, man. And she's gray-haired. I mean, Tannis is very clearly young in the game, and she's very clearly, you know, has black hair. So even if they want to say that this is like years in the future after Borderlands 1 or 2 or whatever, years in the future, it's like, all right, fine. But it's just kind of ridiculous. You know, it's just a little ridiculous. It looks silly. But again, we'll just have to wait and see when the film comes out. But I'm glad that they finally released a trailer, because I was like, I don't know if it's really coming out. They're releasing all these stills and it's supposed to come out in August. I mean, all right, you know, it's the same thing with Bill Skarsgård's new movie, new reboot of The Crow coming out, or the reimagining, as they say, of The Crow. A little skeptical about that, but after seeing his new trailer for Boy Kills World or whatnot, I'm pretty down to see him as the Crow now. You know, just put long hair, give him long hair, and give him all black and a trench coat, be perfect. But it also makes me upset, because it's like, bro, this is how you should have acted in John Wick 4. Instead of getting shot in the head, you should have fought, you know, and went toe-to-toe with John Wick instead of being a little bitch and just getting shot, you know, but I digress. Anyway, we'll have to see what happens. Borderlands, it looks interesting, but again, not holding my tongue. You know, again, I feel like it's a missed opportunity for The Rock, but whatever. This has been Ghost in the Craig. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you out in the Borderlands.